Welcome back to my YouTube channel, DigiLearner. We shall discuss about part 2 of socialism, that is features of socialism. So this chapter is meant for the student of semester 3, and this chapter cover in the paper Introduction to Comparative Government and Politics, and well known as comparative politics. Now we shall discuss about some of the features of socialism. So now we shall discuss some of the features of socialism. First is the public ownership. A socialist system is characterized by public ownership of the means of production and distribution. There is the collective ownership whereby all mines, farms, factories, financial institutions, means of transport and communication, etc., are owned and controlled and regulated by the government. A small private sector also exists in the form of small business units which are carried on the villages and local artisans for local consumption. Secondly, central planning. A social system is centrally planned which functions under the direction of central planning authority. This authority will decide what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. The planning authority prepares the national plan for utilizing the resources of the economy. Thirdly, production and distribution by the state. State produces all goods and services in government factories and farms or regulated them. It undertakes the distribution of goods to the people by itself. Fourthly, social security. The state provides all social security measures such as unemployment benefit, health insurance, etc. Fifthly, reduction of inequality. Sociology attempts to reduce the difference between the rich and the poor. It aims at a classless society and eliminates class struggle by giving equal opportunity to all to work. Sixthly, optimum utilization of resources. In socialism, the resources are owned and controlled by the state. The central planning authority allocates the resources in the best possible manner. There is no self-interest of the private individuals and so no profit motive. What to produce, how much to produce are decided according to the what are really useful to the people. Hence, no wastage and duplication take place in socialism. In short, the resources can be utilized well due to past central planning, absence of private property, absence of profit motive, and production for social use. These are the different motives of resource allocation and resource utilization. Seventhly, equal distribution of income. There is one of the main features of socialism. The social system does not allow a few persons to accumulate a lot of wealth, so the gap between rich and poor is much narrower, and all their citizens enjoy equal opportunities and facilities like education, public health care, etc. So there is no discrimination between different classes of the people. Eighthly, absence of market forces. There is no profit motive. Price mechanism will not influence any product decision. The pricing structure is administered pricing, which is set by the planning commission on the basis of their socio-economic objectives. Ninthly, maximum welfare by reducing inequality in society, by making just distribution of goods, by giving employment for all, by protecting all social system can be promote greater welfare to the people. Lastly, not leastly, absence of monopoly practices. Another feature of socialism is that it is free from monopoly practices to be found in a capitalist society. Since under socialism, all means of production are owned by the state, both competition and monopoly are eliminated. The exploitation by the monopoly is absent. Thank you very much. In next video, we shall discuss about advantage and disadvantage of socialism. Thank you very much.